Salutations, one and all. This is my reaction and review to RWBY Ice Queendom Episode 9, My Dream, Your Dream. And last episode, not go particularly well for Team RWBY. Blake and Yang were kicked out of the Empire, basically brought to the slums, where the faunists are forcibly kept. And RWBY got really sad. I mean, she started off really strong. She was able to come up with this great plan. Even got Yang to agree to it. Showed herself to be the true leader of Team RWBY. And then it just failed utterly spectacularly. And she lost her teammates and fell into a dream within a dream. And based off of this opening shot, it's not going particularly well for her. Yeah, this is the one happy memory she has of Weiss, where Weiss, says, I believe in you. You can be a true leader of this team, and offers her coffee, and it is so cute and adorable. And I loved it in the main series, but here in Ice Queendom, it was more of Weiss trying to manipulate her, trying to make up this big lie like, oh, I'm supportive, I'm a team player. That means I'll get a better grade, which... oh, that hurt me so badly, but here in the dream, Weiss really does care and love RWBY, so, yeah, this hurts even more, this hurts even freaking more, and like I said, meanwhile, Blake has to deal with the way that Weiss sees the faunus, which is gonna get rather complicated. I'm very excited for that, and dreading it. Oh, I love the fear and excitement I feel for this series, but let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Yes, RWBY, you fell asleep. Remember you were fighting Weiss's nightmares? Do you not remember that at all? And also, you not notice the vines growing all around you? That's a pretty big red flag that you're missing. Huh? I thought I could trust you to help me protect what's precious. Interesting? In that case, is this actually the real Weiss somehow bleeding you through from her nightmare into RWBY's nightmare and helping her wake up? Very interesting. That is some twisted dream logic here, but it does make a certain level of sense. Okay, so they're fully talking about the mini Weisses inside of Weiss's dream, which RWBY felt bad for. I'm loving this conversation already. Okay, so this is Weiss actually being truthful and honest with RWBY and saying that when I see how carefree you and Yang are, I want to let my, inner sillies out. I want to be free. I don't want to be this perfect princess any longer. Oh, I love that growl. Oh, that was adorable. Holy God above. That is... oh my God, that is a line. That is certainly a line. I mean, it's certainly true. RWBY has always been essentially alone. Yes, she had her big sister Yang, who she kind of, leaned on, relied on probably a bit too much, but she was alone. She was by herself a lot, and that has caused some very deep mental scars that she has done absolutely nothing to deal with up to this point. Yeah, RWBY doesn't even deny that. She's like, yeah, I'm pretty lonely. Wait, Weiss, you're lonely too? I love it. Oh. Okay, you know what? I was asking for Summer Rose's episode, and we did kind of get Summer Rose's episode. At the very least, we got a flash to her grave, so I'll take that. That is actually something here. Good for, well, I was going to say RWBY, but it's not RWBY. It's whoever is making this anime. Okay, that feels weird advice. Is she basically saying, this is how you keep them from being consumed by the nightmare until you're able to break free? Or is she just saying, to lock them up as best you can because, you're going to lose them and you can't rely on them right now? I love it. I absolutely love it. That is the first thing, or one of the first things RWBY brings up to Weiss. Because, yeah, RWBY really does love Crescent Rose. We haven't seen it much in the anime, but in the main series, she was freaking obsessed with her weapon. So that is something rather important she wants to clarify for Weiss. Everything has its reasons. So there's a reason why Crescent Rose is backwards? Interesting. Okay, Weiss is apparently playing 5D chess here and has figured out a reason for all of this. Very, very interesting. I love the bunk bed was like this one little throwaway line in the main series, but here it's become like a huge part of Weiss's character. Like, I really wanted a freaking bunk bed. I mean, I get it was meant to imply that, she wanted to be closer to her big sister Winter, but I just love how much freaking focus it's getting. I love it. I love the true Weiss breaking into Ruby's nightmare to help her wake up. I mean, seriously, last episode, I'm like, okay, Ruby's in a dream. There's no one available to break into her dream to wake her up from the nightmare. So how's she going to do it by herself? And she didn't. Weiss helped wake her up, and I love that. I freaking love that. I mean, it really goes to show Team RWBY, the team itself, is not about one person leading it, not about one person doing all the work. It's about everyone helping one another. Weiss is helping wake up RWBY so that RWBY can help wake up Weiss. Yeah, those thorns are getting pretty close to RWBY's neck. You gonna do something about them? Can you even see these thorns or not? Because it's really creepy. Okay, that's the opening. This is already the best episode so far. Seriously, the open and honest conversation between RWBY and Weiss was so badly needed, and it meant so much to both of them, and I freaking loved it. Though apparently there is a reason behind why RWBY's gun fires in the opposite direction. That's so weird, and I cannot wait to get some answers on that. And again, we have this... I should look at that sword one more time. What is the deal with this sword? I mean, it kind of looks like an owl almost, if you look at, upside down. It's so detailed, it's so anime, it feels like it has to have some sort of meaning, especially because it's, being able to block the nightmare from infiltrating. It's something that's protecting those that Weiss cares about. My best guess last episode was that this was actually the sword that her grandfather, used when he was in the Great War and when he used to hunt Grimm for fun and sport. Maybe, but that just makes it so much weirder that John would have it. That John would be someone so precious to Weiss, someone that reminded her of her own grandfather. Weird, so overwhelmingly weird. Are you not seeing the thorns spreading out from her hands? That's kind of important, That's a really big red flag. Oh, that could work. I mean, if the sword's able to repel the nightmare, then the sword should theoretically be able to help wake up RWBY from a nightmare. Okay, what exactly is your semblance? Just dream infiltration? That is honestly one of the most insane semblances we've seen in this entire series. I mean, Weiss can, summon Fallen Grimm, but this is a whole nother level right here. This is almost a godlike ability. Hey, John's doing something interesting. I guess this is going to replace, his big moment in Volume 1 when he stood up to defend his teammates and got punched by Cardin, but that somehow hurt Cardin because his aura was just so overwhelmingly strong. That was a very weird moment. Oh my god, the chibi Weiss is cheering John on. Again, best episode by a mile so far. Okay, that's one way of getting the sword to RWBY. I guess it's so heavy they wouldn't actually be able to, pull it free from the train, but interesting. Hey, it's actually working! Yay! Good for you, John. You're still managing to impress me. And of course that would happen because John has to be the butt of the jokes, but, so far I am very impressed. Good for you. You're just asking that now. Seriously, do you run this school or not? I mean, I always assumed that you knew that John cheated his way into Beacon Academy. Didn't you have some ideas about what his potential powers actually were? That's why you allowed it to happen? Oh, that is very ominous, especially because he's focused on RWBY, the Silver Eyes. Maybe, he allowed this whole thing to happen because he wanted RWBY to learn to activate her Silver Eye powers. I mean, it'd be way, way too early, but maybe just like a brief flash, then being like, I wonder what that was. And, just foreshadowing what comes down the road much, much later. Okay. I guess Weiss is gonna sing now. Why not? Why not break into a musical number? It's a very, very sad musical number. And I think the same song that Pura sung a while back about how she was, so lonely and lacking friends, lacking equals. But then I think got hopeful because John, Nora, and Ren popped up and became her friends, became her allies to support her. Okay, Weiss meeting Nega Weiss. Interesting. Okay, so all the mini Weisses, the silly Weisses, merged into Nega Weiss for some reason. I mean, I guess those are the mini Weisses that were eaten by the nightmare. Or have they become part of her? Has Nega Weiss become just a little bit silly? I mean, probably not, because that would be a very weird way to end this. Oh, and even Weiss herself merged into Nega Weiss. So is she, eating them, or is she just gaining their attributes? Alright, I guess Weiss has entered her eternal sleep. It's game over time. And again, we have this creepy mansion, which, like I said before, seems to represent the faunus, given we have the Shinee Dust Company board members being, hung up outside of it, tortured, killed, what have you. Ha! Hey, what do you know? Blake actually learned something from John and realized that they should, keep the door barricaded open. Good for you. Oh god, he really is bashful. I love it. Okay, there's the Shinee Dust Company train that was hijacked and the board members killed as a result of that. Really, you just called, Blake's entire people junk. I mean, I get Yang's trying to lighten the mood because this is all creepy and terrifying and horrible, but it's not going very well for her. Interesting, because, that's a symbol for White Fang, but I feel like every time we've seen it so far inside of White's dream, it's been the red version, the more evil version, the version that it eventually became after being twisted from the original goal of just trying to, create peace between humans and faunus, trying to create equality, essentially. Hey, it's the sign again! Yay! Oh, and is that the black chess piece as well? I think so. Awesome! The man with two souls. Very symbolic of Blake, but also thinking, just another way be symbolic of Weiss here, because she's of, well, not necessarily two souls, but two minds. The faunus are evil and awful and terrible, and they kill all those I love. On the other hand, it's like, okay, Blake is a faunus, and she's not awful, and I am very well aware of how my father has treated them for a long time. Oh boy, that was a bad idea. Very, very bad idea. Why must you run towards the giant creepy monsters? It's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. I mean, I know that's your job and all, but still. Interesting. Okay, so that creates a very interesting parallel between Weiss and Blake. Blake viewed the SDC and everyone worked for it as evil and terrifying monsters, whereas Weiss viewed everyone in the White Fang as evil, terrifying monsters. And so while, we see these weird puppet forms signifying the SEC, that's how, Weiss viewed them. If this were Blake's dream, instead we'd see, horrible monsters mixed with the Gram, much like how Weiss is imagining the White Faunus. The White Fang. White Faunus, what the freak? Hey, Blake has a plan. Good for her. Though Yang seems just a little bit worried here. Okay, so the weapon faces the other way so that RWBY can use it as a telescope? Interesting? I don't really think that's, reason enough for have this whole, season long, or at least less than 4 episodes long, question about why exactly her scythe is facing the wrong way, but interesting? Yeah, obviously it couldn't be that simple. The nightmare locked up all the doors, so they can't get back in. Essentially, they need to wait for, Blake and the rest of them to show up with the Black Relic to lead them into Weiss's innermost self. And as soon as Blake and Yang pop back in, Weiss will realize they're there and will, just attack them. And then they'll have this whole thing start all over again with them trying to fight Weiss and just losing so very, very badly. Yep, there's still that big, big sword that can, maybe do something. If, you and John held it together, it might be able to repel the nightmare long enough for you to break into Weiss's innermost mind. That is fairly good logic there. I mean, Weiss's mind, RWBY is someone who's free, who can move around however she wants. That's why she's a snowboarder inside of Weiss's dream. So if RWBY is piloting a train, the train should be able to go wherever RWBY wants it to go, to be able to, go up the sides of buildings and walls. Oh, I love that. Yeah, again, I've said this last video, but Pyrrha is really strong, and Weiss thinks that Pyrrha is way stronger than she actually is, which means that Dream Pyrrha should be insanely powerful, and yet she has done absolutely no fighting up to this point. The mini Weisses, I mean, they're fairly strong, they're able to cause a lot of damage, so yeah, bring them along to fight as well. Oh god, I love RWBY patting the mini Weisses on the head. Oh, that's so adorable. Oop, time's moving backwards. And Weiss has been forcibly woken up from her dream. Probably because the train's moving again, and that's not something that should be happening. A middle-class station. Schnee Palace Station. Yeah, that's not actually a station, but RWBY will make it one just from the force of her will alone. Yeah, shooting the train won't do a whole lot, given that it's armor-plated because people were expecting the train to get shot at. So, good plan. Actually driving the train right through to the very center of Weiss's mind, a pretty good plan. Hey, and I guess her being, a full sniper also came in handy. Though I have no idea why Weiss would have, been expecting RWBY to need that. Why that was the reason behind RWBY's gun getting turned around. Also, god, Pyrrha has a mini Weiss weapon. And she looks so serious, I love it. That is also true. The train plan was not an insane plan. Good for them. Oh, come on, RWBY, hit Jock. Hit Jock really freaking hard. He deserves it. He 100% deserves it. Okay, so, they didn't get all the way there, but they got pretty dang close while being, completely protected and safe from the train. So yay! Good for you, RWBY. I mean, this situation now got a little bit worrisome, but still, everything leading up to this point went fairly well. Though you do have to fight the giant robot now, which, yeah, that's a bit worrying. Also, Weiss, who is very angry and very powerful, and you did just wake her up from her nap, so she's even more angry than usual. There we go, good for you. I feel like that's something that Mini Weiss really, really wanted to do. What about you, John? What are you doing in this moment? I mean, you've been doing a fairly good job up to this point, but now just like telling little girls to shoot. You could at the very least, be providing them ammo, refilling their weapons, but you're just, shoot, shoot, shoot! Come on, man. You've really built yourself up fairly well this season. Do something better. Oh! Little girl just got shot there. That was unpleasant. Oh, second little girl got shot. Oh, come on, John. Grab the goddamn sword. It clearly has some sort of meaning. And while you can't really wield it all that well, it is insanely powerful. Oh, no, that's bad. That is so overwhelmingly bad. Jacques has the sword. Jacques has the ultimate relic. And if I am right, and this is some sort of way symbolic of Weiss's grandfather, that would also make a lot of sense, you know? This basically is Jacques stealing the company from Nicholas. Well, not necessarily stealing it, since Nicholas kind of gave it to him, but using, you know, tricks and manipulation to forcibly take the company from him, or to force Nicholas to give the company to him. Well, that is a terrifying, terrifying sound. I feel like that's not supposed to happen. And I have no idea how it just happened, but somehow Blake managed to, or I guess Blake and Yang managed to open up a doorway in the sky leading outside of the Empire, leading to the SDC/Faunus mansion. Okay, and they had the White Fang/Grim monsters break right into the heart of the freaking Empire. I honestly think this is Weiss's nightmare. I mean, I know this whole thing is Weiss's nightmare, but this is literally Weiss's nightmare. Oh, I love it. Okay, Yang just popped in on a motorcycle through the door. I'm not sure how she got so much air just, you know, walking through a doorway or driving through a doorway, but I freaking love it. Also, yeah, another advantage to them bringing the train is they were able to bring the door with them all the way to, you know, the entrance to the Schnee Manor. All around a great plan on Ruby's part. Hello! Oh, okay. I have a lot to say about this, but let's wait till I get a better shot. Okay, so this is, I guess, Blake embracing her Faunus identity. She no longer has, you know, the one bow on her ears. Now she's, you know, fully Faunus. Now she's the true thing that Weiss despises and fears and hates so much. And she's even kind of dressed up like Adam here, which I feel like, you know, must be doing a whole lot of psychological damage more to Blake than to Weiss, but interesting. I'll show you which of us is superior and just. Alright, that's one way to put it, Blake. Interesting. Yeah, so this is, you know, literally Weiss's nightmare right here, having to fight the Faunus at the very, you know, gates of her own mansion, as they're saying that, you know, they'll show who is superior and just here. Holy mother. I mean, I'm hoping, you know, what Blake is really trying to say is that, you know, neither of them is actually superior and just, and they're both just, you know, reacting to the sins of the other one. That would make a lot of sense, but, you know, she's gone full evil mode here, and I abso-freaking-lutely love it. Though, I also kind of need to point out there are some very strong similarities between Blake's design right here and obviously Adam, but also Raven. Yeah, Blake's giving me real Raven vibes right here, which creates some, you know, interesting feelings between Yang and Blake, which, I mean, does make a lot of sense given how, you know, Volume 3 ended, and why, you know, Yang was so upset at that point, but yeah, that's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird right there. Like, you know, this entire freaking episode was. Love it. Okay, so yeah, Blake's big plan was to somehow open up a portal into the sky and allow the White Fang to infiltrate the Empire and attack the heart of, you know, Weiss's manor, the heart of Weiss's very mind. I have abso-freaking-lutely no idea how she did that, but it was certainly cool. I mean, you could definitely argue that, you know, Weiss's mind isn't rejecting this because it's what she expects to see. She expects the, you know, White Fang to attack her, to be evil, to say they're going to, you know, wipe out all of humanity and prove they are the superior race. So it fits inside the logic of Weiss's dream world, and her dream, her mind aren't actually rejecting it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, I love this episode. Seriously, I mean, started off with, you know, Ruby and Weiss just having a really beautiful heart-to-heart moment about, you know, what exactly they were both doing, how they both felt about one another, and I loved it. I so loved it. And that, plus John and the weird magic sword, helped Ruby break free of the nightmare. Yay! Good for John! And then Ruby just basically thought to herself, hey, Weiss thinks that I am free, that I can go anywhere, so I'm going to drive this train all the way to the heart of Weiss's mind. And it worked! Amazingly enough, it actually freaking worked. Huzzah! Good for them! And then for some reason she decided to fight Weiss by herself, which is, such an overwhelmingly bad idea. Not only because, she's gonna lose, Weiss is way more powerful than her, but also because there's not a whole lot they can do if, she actually won. They need the relic, one of the relics, the black relic, it's the only one left, in order to get inside of Weiss's innermost mind, and RWBY at that point had no relics. Thankfully it all worked out, and they were able to, team up with Blake and Yang to do some serious damage to Weiss's troops, but yeah, not really sure what to expect after this. I mean, this is episode 9, I believe, so there's still 3 more episodes. Next one is going to be, this big battle, Faunus versus the SDC, Big Nicholas, all that. One after that, I guess, going into the center of Weiss's mind, maybe fighting off against the Giant Grimm with Weiss by their side, but then there's still, one episode left after that, so yeah, there clearly needs to be, one more twist, one more turn of fortune that, makes it look like they're going to lose before they can actually have the big meaningful moment and win. Unless last episode is just going to be, an epilogue, them basically just going around like, wow, that was a crazy couple days, wasn't it? Which I would not hate. Honestly, it's just a chance for Team RWBY to relax a little, to bond as teammates, to have fun. Maybe go to the beach after spending all this time in, a harsh winter environment. That'd be just so absolutely amazing. I would love to see that. But, yeah, let me know anything else down below. Why exactly did Blake become Adam? What's her plan here on waking Weiss up given this? And how exactly did she open a portal up all the way from the manor to Weiss's manor, from the Faunus manor to the Schnee manor? Weird. Very, very weird. What's the deal with the sword? Seriously, there's this big, giant sword that's able to repel the nightmare, which for some reason John had when he first woke up in this world. Is it actually symbolic of Big Nicholas? And if so, what role is it going to play moving forward? And also, why exactly did RWBY's weapon face the other direction? Was it just so she could be a better sniper, or was there some other meaning to it? I mean, Weiss said something about, hiding in the shadow, so no idea. Absolutely no idea about that. But anyway, next episode is going to be called Mirror of Darkness. Oh, that is ominous. That is so overwhelmingly ominous. I mean, I'm guessing, mirror, she's Snow White here, represented by Winter, the book she has. So is the book going to be the big boss they have to fight next episode? And once they destroy it, Weiss will wake up, Nega Weiss will be replaced by actual Weiss, and they'll be able to infiltrate the dream together as Team RWBY. I would love to see that. Hopefully John gets, taken out or something. I mean, this is the moment for Team RWBY, and I kind of feel like John has played his role many times over, so he can, he can go rest, he can go wake up. He's done. Good job, John. Just please stop while you're ahead. But anyway, until then, peace!